Hey all, a few quick updates. With Twitter, or X, increasingly on the fritz, I've created a Substack at JaxYax, that is JaxYax.substack.com, that I'll be using to send out updates about the podcast and my other projects rather than trying to hop on to every new social media that pops up. It and my current social media links will be in the show notes of every episode. Also now linked in the show notes, the interest forum for Fanstuck and Problematic Faves episodes is back. If you have a Homestuck fan work or a wonderfully terrible character you want to come on and talk about, fill out the form and I'll see if we can set something up. That's all I have for now. Thanks for listening and enjoy the episode. Hello, and welcome back to Live, Laugh, Stuck. I am Jackie, aka Jax, and we are back with Moosey to talk about Act 5, Act 2, Part 2. It only gets worse from here, folks.
Yeah.
Just wait till we get to Act 6.
We're already partitioning them into sub-acts, even though it's not officially a sub-act. But act.
Yeah, not to do a spoiler, but Act 6 does get into sub-act. At least I think it will be easier to like figure out where we stopped. Like this one was easy because last episode we stopped at the recap, so that's very easy to find. This time we stopped at fucking it was end of disc 1, right?
yeah.
It's so funny that end of disc 1.
My discs.
Yeah, you gotta swap your disc. Oh, just wait. I'm very excited for the next. There's no way we're splitting up the next one into 2 separate parts. Like that's just going to be the rest of Act 5, Act 2, and I'm very excited about it because, like, as I'm sure you could tell from reading this was really just a lot more setup.
Okay,
like stuff happened for sure, but like it's just so much of like you're slowly figuring out more of what's being planned or what might happen, and it's just like more like, okay, well, here's some more plot threads for you. Have fun keeping track.
I still have no idea what might happen. What are you talking about?
No, that's fair, but like that's like okay, so we start off with like Jade Sprite, right? And talking about like trying to figure out, because like the ultimate goals here, as far as we know at this part in Act 5, Act 2, the goals are primarily to defeat Jack Noir, or Bec Noir, as he is now,
by destroying the Green Sun.
Yeah, like that is how apparently Bec Noir is to be destroyed, and how to salvage their session, because their session, it's an unwinnable session. There are just like different types of unwinnable sessions.
They have soft locked their game. They didn't pick up. They ate the cheesecake or the custard pie in the beginning of the game, and then now they don't have it to throw at the Yeti's face, so that they just can't win anymore.
Yeah, it's like when you play Morrowind and you just kill some random dude that you found in a manor on the side of the road, and suddenly like, well, you can't beat the game now. You killed like a very important person. So like, sorry, prophecy is like thwarted. Like terrible things are happening now. I'm like, well, God damn it, Morrowind. How would I know?
I just, want to go around killing people at random.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have gotten mad that I stole his stuff. Consider.
You just have to put a bucket on his head so he doesn't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're in an unwinnable session, and so the 2 goals: defeat Bec Noir, and
so I don't remember if they said this, but what made the session unwinnable? Just because of the tumor, or I don't know. I don't remember if they mentioned. Like, I'm sure it's been mentioned, right?
That's a good fucking question.
I don't remember why they can't win their session.
I can't remember why they can't win their session.
To win the session, they need to defeat the demon, right?
So in a normal game, because like the trolls had a normal game of Esberb or Esgrub for them, and like they were about to like completely like win it and get to the final reward.
And they got that door.
Bec Noir. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what they had to do is they had to the Black King was like their end boss, and that is the
Okay.
I don't fucking remember. You know what?
Is it because like did Bec Noir kill the royalty and so that's why they can't? Or something?
Let me look this up, or else if I don't figure this out, people will be screaming at me. Oh, okay. See, I just don't. I'm not like satisfied with this paragraph because like we know why Bec Noir was created, and it wasn't because of like a problem with the universe. It was a problem with Vriska. Vriska was the problem. But I guess like because he started the reckoning early and usurped the Black Queen and killed the Black King.
Every time I have to highlight white text, I'm like, God damn it.
Oh, you didn't. See, I have a thing on where it just auto like I don't have to highlight it. It just auto does it. But it does like take something away whenever like they're being referenced. Like Doc Scratch ends up being in a conversation between Rose and Jade, and they just stop highlighting his text.
Yeah.
And it's just stranger whenever you're not highlighting it. So he's like, "Oh, you're probably not highlighting it anymore."
And the Genesis frog. Jeez, what the fuck is the Genesis frog again? I know they're the frog temples.
Yeah, this is I forget how much has been explained about it yet, but because like that's what the space player does, is try to breed frogs.
The space player?
Yeah. So like Jade and Kanaya.
Okay.
They breed the frog. So that's what Jade's doing with all the frozen frogs.
Yeah. Because something with time, if I intend to go capture those frogs in the future, then I can morphify them or
yeah, paradox slime
paradoxify.
Shit.
Yeah.
Paradoxify.
Now I don't know which part of my notes are from the first part of 5.2, and because I kind of had a month in between reading where we started and where we're at, I put Jade gets mad at her sprite self and actually says fuck.
That's where we started.
Yeah.
Because I think we ended with Jade sprite like happening and then crying, and then there was a recap maybe?
No, I think the recap, and I just read a few pages after.
Oh.
And then I wrote S, Wake, Megalovania. Terezi finds dead Tavros and starts playing CSI.
Yeah, that's Terezi.
Karka had ordered John to marry Rose.
Yeah, that was all in this Act 5, Act 2, Part 2.
Okay. Yeah. And then when John is walking around with Rose later on, be like, technically, this is the first time we've met. Also, we're supposed to get married, maybe?
Oh my god, yeah, I love John. He's so dumb.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, so I guess Karkat said we're supposed to get married. Like, okay, John. But yeah, no, it's basically unwinnable because of Bec Noir. Okay. That's why it's unwinnable. If there's another reason, I don't care about it. Hussy. God, I will tell you, I have a love-hate relationship with Hussy commentary. And I just can't get into all of it because it just has to deal with like spoiler because of course. But I'm also like very sad that this is the last commentary. Like where we ended was the last commentary. Like that's where the book ended.
Yeah.
And we don't have any more, and we're not going to get any more. So,
well, does the book finish out 5.2? So there's like a tiny bit more? No?
Nope. It finishes where we ended, which is funny because I didn't plan it that way. Yeah. I did not know that. I thought it finished out Act 5, Act 2.
That sucks.
It does suck. It is wild because I was hoping to I was kind of looking forward to the final. I mean, it's not gonna it's not a spoiler to tell you what it Cascade. Cascade, when we get to it, that is an event that broke new grounds,
Yeah.
which is very exciting. I love it so much.
This is probably not related to whatever that is, but back in the old Windows days, there used to be an option to, like, you know, kind of order your windows when you have all these windows open.
Mhm.
And Cascade is when you had them kind of going diagonally back to front and just like cascaded all your windows moving forward. I don't know.
Oh.
It was a computer thing.
For sure. I'll have to watch it again to, like, I mean, we'll see when we get to it. Maybe you'll have more insight into it.
Are there
because you just-
computer windows on there? Does that have to do with computers?
There's a lot of shit in it. Listen, I don't remember.
Okay. I want you to tell me when the pauses started happening, because I want to know the context for that when everyone was waiting around for new parts.
Absolutely. So the first one is actually coming up from September 6th to October 25th. So that's, like, not a long one.
Mm-hmm.
Because October 25th is when the end of Act 5 Flash happens.
Okay.
Cascade. Cascade. So that's the first one.
But that's only a month long.
Yeah, and there's another, like, less than a month. Oh, that's fair. See, people were getting, like, multiple pages a day, so whenever it's, like, a couple of weeks, it's like, well, that was a hiatus. Which is very funny, because there's another one, like, right after that to get prepared for Act 6. Okay, where's the big one? I don't care about these, like, couple of days or weeks. Okay, yeah, the mega pause. Yeah, that's not for a while. I'll try to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
No, I started with the gigapause, I think. I'll try to pay attention. I also get the news feed updating down below, which might mention it. But yeah, no pauses yet. Like, this bitch was just turning out pages and pages and pages and flashes and fucking games just almost every goddamn day. Absolutely wild.
For like 2 years straight, pretty much.
Yeah.
Impressive. I can't stick with anything more than like 2 days.
Yeah, same. Anyway, so what happens in this act, or this section of the act? Because we read through insert disc 1, which is on page 3714. So it was a good chunk of change, like almost 500 pages.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay, you know what? Let's get to the big guns. Let's get to the big guns. What do you think about what has been called MURDERSTUCK?
Are those trolls just dead now?
I mean, like, I can't really say because it's spoilers. I mean, as you can see, there's more to being dead than just being dead.
Yeah.
They have the dream bubble afterlife.
Okay, I keep reading about that.
Yeah, they got the dream bubbles.
So far, currently, John's dad is dead. Rose's mom is dead. That's kind of like the last part that we read.
Yeah.
Dave Bro dead. Dave was maybe or maybe not mourning or in grief.
Schrodinger's mourning.
Yeah. Tavros is dead. Aqueous and Nepeta. Aqueous. How do you pronounce a UIU? I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, it's not like there's any official pronunciations. Like, Hussey's changed the way he pronounces stuff. People will get into arguments over how you pronounce Aradia. There's actually reference to that in Aradia's Pester Quest, where the person who wrote it is like, haha, it's pronounced Aradia. Only fools would pronounce it any way else. I'm like, well, no, fucking idiot.
English speakers are particularly good at pronouncing every vowel different.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that's not common in many other languages. So
because we stole it from everyone. Our language is just like, well, we'll take a little bit of French and a little bit of German and a little bit of fucking everything.
So anytime I read like a name and it's a person from like any other country, any other language system, I'm just like, okay, don't change how the A's sound. Just pronounce the A's the same each time.
Yeah.
It's probably going to sound like ah.
I mean, you're much more of a language person than I am. I don't even know why. I'm like,
I could like try to pronounce these with how I would pronounce them in Esperanto.
Yeah, do that. Pronounce all of the names like you would a fucking quote unquote native Esperanto speaker.
Sure. Terezi.
Ooh.
Vriska.
Ooh.
Let's see. There's not really a Q in Esperanto, but I could make it a K or something. Equius. Eridian. Gamzi. Aradia. Kanaya. Karkat. Tavros. Feferi Solux Nebeta.
Yeah, that's great. Pronounce it however the fuck you want, and I'll try to not correct you because I'm not correct.
Mm.
No one's correct. That's the Homestuck thing. No one's correct. But yeah, they're all fucking dead.
Okay.
They got fucking murdered.
They were introduced such a short time ago, somewhat, and then now they're dead.
Yeah. So what was it like going through Murderstuck?
Gosh. Okay. So one dude wanted to go hang out with Jack Nor, and then let's see.
Yeah, Aridin was like, let's fucking team up with Jack Noir, actually.
Yeah, and then Gamzee, after seeing the ICP video, went bonkers and decided to start killing people. That's how that went, right? Like it broke his worldview or something.
That is a conversation that we are still having to this day.
So he's just murdering people for funsies, I guess.
Yeah.
Then who? Gosh, again, I have such a hard time keeping them straight.
You can just say Sweaty Man, Autistic Cat Girl.
Oh yeah, there's that mini game where he told Nepeta to hide in that part. Gosh, like I read the first 250 pages like a month ago, and then the other 250 last night.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like I guess I was expecting the trolls to all still be around, considering how much people are into the trolls in the fandom. And then I was like, I wonder if Hussey did this just to spite the people who like the trolls.
I
mean,
like,
I'm going to murder your people.
I mean, it's hard to say, and that is like maybe like Homestuck historians will be able to say, but he didn't say it anywhere in the commentary specifically, because there's some shit that he does for spite, right?
Yeah.
Like I recently learned, actually after my my big problematic episode a couple weeks ago or a month ago as of recording this, I found out that like the big reason that Rose and Dave are related is because he wanted to fuck with Rose and Dave shippers. And like, so yeah, Hussey just does shit like that. Is like, fuck you, actually. I'm gonna do this thing because fuck you. Absolutely wild. But
yeah. So then I'm also kind of like, well, maybe that many trolls was unmanageable, but then there's so many fucking characters.
Oh, there's more characters coming. There's
yeah,
more
and there's like ancestors happening.
Coming.
Something.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, the ancestors. Because you read, that was something that you read pretty recently because you left off last time.
I saw like the parchment page for the journal, Vriska's ancestor journal, and I was like, I was expecting it to be like the beginning of 5.1 where we just take a complete tangent to learn about all these ancestors, but it was really only a few pages.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have the brain capacity to learn about it.
That's fair. I mean, reading Mindfang's journal does take some brain capacity anyway.
And it was also just, what am I reading?
Yeah, so what you were reading, oh my god.
Her ancestor was arrested for some reason.
Did it end with her ancestor getting arrested?
Or like
her ancestor was basically a pirate, right?
I guess.
That's what it was. Her ancestor was basically a pirate and had a black relationship, a kismesitude, with Aridin's ancestor, who was like, I guess, part of the Royal Navy or whatever. And if people woobify Mindfang so much, it is absolutely wild. So, like,
what's
people
a
have conversations.
Woobify? Yeah.
So it's like, did you know Loki from the Marvel movies?
Not really.
I'm trying to think of an easy example, but it's just like, oh, poor little baby did nothing wrong. And it's like, poor little baby committed several war crimes. And it's like, fine, I don't mind if characters commit war crimes, more power to them. But like, they did do that. But yeah, woobify is just like, act like they're, I don't know, like they just haven't done anything wrong. Like they're perfect. And what I mean that is like, there's so many people who love Mindfang so much, and like, in the very first journal entry that we read, she's like, anyway, here's my slave I'm mind controlling into sex.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, that's in the first page. That's in the first page that she does this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know. I just have so many Vriska feelings over it. Because like it's like basically, in my opinion, it's like a one-to-one reflection of when Vriska started doing that to Tavros and then didn't. And I don't know, it just makes that moment with Vriska so much more powerful because like she built her whole self around being her ancestor.
Mm-hmm.
And in like a critical like mirror moment of that, she doesn't do what her ancestor did.
Mm-hmm.
I love Vriska. She's terrible.
Yeah. And in the journal, she was talking about the kiss messes.
Yes, her kismesis.
Let me see. I wrote that down. Gold scar.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, they said that her slave was murdered.
Yeah, he killed her slave or had her slave assassinated. Her slave was also implied and word of God confirmed to be Kanaya's ancestor.
Okay. I got confused when the art looked like it's Vriska and Iridian, right?
Aridin, yeah.
Aridin. Stupid names.
Stupid names.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Adding extra eyes in there.
Yeah, I get that. We're learning about the ancestors to kind of build up to this event between the three of them, because then Gamzee's ancestor killed Aridin's ancestor for being a snitch and not being funny enough about it.
Okay.
And then sent Terezi's ancestor after Vriska, or Vriska's ancestor.
So this is like mirroring what's happening right now.
Yeah.
I had a hard time following when it
That's fair. But and then Kanaya messes it all up by coming back to life as a vampire and fucking murdering Aridin.
Okay.
It was very good. I mean, what more do you need than lesbian vampires?
Yeah, so I'm scrolling through it at the same time, like, and she punches Vriska and takes the wand and destroys it. It's just like I don't know what's happening.
I mean, yeah, that's what happens. So she comes back, she fucking punches Vriska in the face, and Vriska's like, "Oh wait, I do have flushed feelings for her because she's such a badass because she punched me."
The little heart
Classic
thing.
Yeah, classic Vriska. And yeah, snaps the science wand in half. Fucking knees Gamzee in the nuts. And slices or chainsaws Aridin in half.
Okay, and then that's when we get back to the castle with Checkmore.
Yeah, sorry, it's so funny. I'm gonna send you a picture of a keychain I have, and maybe I'll make it the episode art. So, what it is, in case I don't use it as episode art, or you don't pay attention to it, or your podcaster doesn't load episode art, which happens, it is a keychain where there's a top half of Aridin and then connected by another chain to the bottom half of Aridin. And I need to remember, I'll put a link to the Etsy shop I got it from. If that keychain's still available, I'll put that in the description, because I got it on a pre-order with another one that I'll show you when that one becomes relevant. It's just very funny. It's just a very funny keychain. I think we should have more keychains of like, if there's any sort of like bisection or decapitation or amputation, I think we should just have keychains where they're just hanging off like that. So
I did put in my notes. What's with the trolls and piles of things?
Running gag. I mean, you could theorize it that like, I'm trying to think of the term, where it's like a Morale thing of to go sit in a pile and like have a feelings jam is like a Morale thing, but I don't know if that's intentional or more of just like it just became a running gag.
Okay, so after those trolls fight, then we become Jack Noir, puts on a hat and sunglasses, and it's like, nah,
Yeah. He has a dress up montage and then changes his mind and says this is all far too silly.
Mm. And he can't kill Jade because he's part Beck. So
Yeah.
let's see.
He has doggy loyalty.
He
I don't
tells.
know if you noticed in the game, but even like there were banners that represented each kid and he destroyed all of them except for Jade's.
Okay, I did see that, and I was like, I don't remember what these banners represent.
Yeah, it was their because I think it was their aspect symbol, I think is what was on the banners.
Yeah. Let's see. He tells Dee Dee to go kill her instead, or no, he tells CD
CD.
to
Yeah.
tell, and then CD tells Dee Dee. Can't remember their
Yeah.
names besides just the.
I can't remember what they're called in this version because they have different names from intermission.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not the same characters, but it's dumb. Homestuck's dumb.
And then I got confused by a Radia time bubble thing or freezing
Yeah.
Jack Moore.
Freezing Jack Noir or what about it was confusing and I'll go through it.
Okay, when she goes into the dream bubble to talk to herself,
Yeah.
that's the robot version of her or something?
That
Or
is one of the robot versions of her because she created an army of
right.
doomed Radiobots.
Uh-huh.
So they were all from Doom timelines.
But were those the ones that fought their boss? The
Yes.
troll boss?
Yep.
And just like put the gif of the lady with the math overlay.
Yes. It's time loop shit. It's because these Doom timelines, they were all going to die anyway. This is where they die. I don't fully understand it because it's weird time loop shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So because they just like their end result was to die, but like because of time loop shit, they were all able to be there to help defeat the Black King.
Mm-hmm. I'm just still
And
scrolling through.
yeah, so we get her memory, and we get another mention of Gamzee. Like in that timeline, he went off and murdered characters.
Oh, he did? Wait, I missed that.
It was like a quick, like 2 lines about it.
Okay.
But like that's why that timeline was doomed because
Mm.
shit happened to where Gamzee went off. Like before the game happened, he went off and killed. Who was it? It was Karkat, Nepeta, maybe someone else. So she went around trying to do shit to make sure that there would be an alpha timeline that would not have that happen.
So they go to the bubble and they're
Mm-hmm.
looking at her robot memories.
Yeah.
And then they go, I guess they're just kind of waiting around for other memories to happen and go to visit other memories.
Yeah.
And then Jade has a weird skirt for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Hussey's kind of explained that the different costumes are how you can kind of put where it happens in the timeline together.
Okay.
Like, there's like a green suit, Dave,
Mm-hmm.
that is like, okay, well, he was wearing a green suit like this early in the timeline. So whenever he shows up again, we know that that's from that because things are so non-linear
Yeah.
that having the costume changes helps put it into place
Mm.
in theory.
Okay. And then it gets into everyone having their DNA strand they came up with for some reason, which mirrors the meow DNA for Beck.
Yes.
Why do they generate DNA sequences? Is that just what everyone does?
It's like the DNA codes
Hmm.
in in the beta kids made Beck.
Doc.
So for the
Yes.
trolls, they
Made Doc.
it's like they made Doc. I don't think it's like said by this point, but like you can put it together.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is one of the problems with reading the commentary, and something that's probably going to be easier for me from here on out is like I read Hussey's explanation for stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and his explanation deals with stuff that has not happened in the comic yet, or is just like badly clarified in the comic.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly how much has been like officially explained, and you should definitely understand, or maybe it was like half of a line that should have explained everything to people actually paying attention. This is why Homestuck has very specific, like the Homestuck fandom has very specific experts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll have the experts on exactly how Esperb is supposed to work. You'll have the experts on fucking frog breeding, right? You'll have the experts on Doc Scratch.
Is it known why? Like, how did they have DNA sequences to even write down in the first place? Like, what did that come
I
from?
think it's just kind of explained as like some part of like the game's like just doing shit like that. Like just part of the cyclical nature of the game, of creating itself, of creating its own thing,
Mm-hmm.
of like putting those into their heads. But I
Mm-hmm.
could be wrong. It is not the clearest, or if it is, it's not the part I cared about. Because it's just weird, right? Like, it's weird. There's going to be some other bits that I'm just like, I don't fucking know, man. Like, this is not my area of expertise. Like, I can give you a rundown on every thought I have about Vriska, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the dream stuff. And honestly, I forgot about the codes. I forgot about the codes that the trolls did. I forgot about them
Mm-hmm.
until I read it again. So,
I wrote in my notes is like, so is the reproductive process of the universe just Esperb?
I mean, yeah.
It's like, instead of like a flower getting pollinated or mammals having the sex or something, just the universe just makes a video game.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
uh, and since I'm over here in my notes here, I also wrote down, okay, so Trolls game created the human universe.
Mm-hmm.
The human universe is supposed to create a new universe if they were able to win in this session.
Yeah.
And then I was wondering if we end up going down a rabbit hole of who created the Trolls universe.
I don't know.
You just have a long chain of introducing infinitely many characters for every universe.
Universe Inception.
Do we ever get to the very beginning first session of the universe, or how that was created, or do we get to the very end of the universe?
Yeah, we get Adam and Eve's session. I'll steal a Neil Gaiman quote. Wait and see.
Okay.
Fucking, I don't know if you follow Neil Gaiman on Tumblr, but people are like, "Hey, is this gonna happen in the next season of Good Omens?" And he's like, "Wait and see."
Okay, so they need to do a scratch, and then I think it was clarified. Okay, they thought the scratch was gonna do something to their game session, but it's not. It's gonna do something else to their game session.
So they thought the scratch was how Bec Noir entered the troll session.
Mm-hmm. But it's actually how they can reset their session,
Yes.
and they don't want to be non-existent anymore, so they have to figure out how to do the scratch and also escape their universe or something.
Yes. Escape their universe or something is kind of where they're at. It's like, or else they will just disappear into non-existence, and they have to figure out how to not do that.
Okay, and then Rose was trying to coordinate that whole plan, but then she asked the cue ball if the gods are evil, if the far gods are evil or something.
The gods of the furthest ring, I think is what they're called.
Yeah,
The horror terrors.
the distant gods.
Yeah.
So she does so, and then her session finally goes black to the troll's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And then she turns gray and is full of rage.
Yes. What is called grimdark, which was a term coined by the fans who were anticipating this happening.
Okay, so then Hussey used that term since it was from the fans?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a timeout with the JPEG crunchy webcomic guy or something.
Yeah, Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff. Except, isn't this one like it's Hussey in it instead of any of the Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff characters?
I guess so. I looks I mean, and then I don't know what's happening here. I'm still just scrolling through the pages like, okay, I was telling my friend about reading Homestuck, and she's aware of it but doesn't know what it is. And I was like, this is the stuff that Hussey makes us read.
Yeah. Yes. It's very reader hostile.
He's like, now I'm playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's an animation. Okay, so something there happens. We're just gonna gloss over that. I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't know. John sees a timer in a yin yang thing and takes it. It's the tumor. Then the bunny creates a little shippy ship.
He reductifies it. I forget what they call it in
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah,
thing. He makes it small.
and Dee Dee, and now I've forgotten the name of the Caraspasians. The one in the ghost cloak. They're gonna go
Oh,
on
and
a
that is the mayor. I forget what his
yeah.
OG name is. He's the mayor.
Yeah, so then they're gonna go on a boat. John gives his wallet to
Yeah.
his friend, and
Yeah.
they go off. He goes off to go look for his dad, except that his wallet had his computer question mark in it.
It did. So he has no way to contact anyone because he had all of his like communication devices in the wallet.
Mm.
And I love the panel whenever Jay is trying to talk to him and he's just like
His
waving.
the
John is such a doof.
yeah. And I've started telling people that they should really carry no less than 5 computers on your person at all time, like a sensible person.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, okay. So then he sees dark stuff. He goes there. It's a castle. He walks around. Or wait, no. Rose, Gray Rose walks around. Oh shit!
Yeah. Grim Dark Rose.
And they meet up there. I originally I went through the bookcase. I was like, oh, there's some dudes hiding in here. And when I came back around, I was like, oh no, they're all dead.
Yeah, I really loved that where like you get to walk around like it's already destroyed, but there's
Mm,
still like there's a dude behind a pillar, there's the dudes in
yeah.
the secret area, and then you come back through and they're all dead and it's even more destroyed than before. And I just loved it. It's just a little thing. It's a little thing and I loved it.
Mm. So then let's see, gosh, John is just babbling. Rose is speaking some sort of language, and I was wondering if there's translations for that because it
I
looks like
don't
it could just be a cipher.
I don't think so. Let me look it up. Is there
Let me see. I don't want to have to replay the
translation
whole
for
game thingy.
Oh, if there's a translation, it's like physically out here somewhere. Okay, well, there's a link to an explanation. Okay, so I didn't realize Foxes had a Tumblr. Of course, Foxes. So Foxes is a very popular read through of Homestuck. I think it's still ongoing. Like it stopped for a while and it's not like finished.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so Voxes, like fucking every big Homestuck fan knows Voxes reads Homestuck or whatever it's called. I haven't watched it or listen to it or whatever. But anyway, so someone asked the Voxes Tumblr, can you translate the grimdark speech Rose does? The code is to replace every letter with a letter to the right on the keyboard with some
Mm,
wraparound letters on the far right. Thus, blah, 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 blah. And it shows an
yeah.
example. And then the response is it's not actually that simple. While the way of writing has been used on some fanfic, it's not actually how it's written in the comic, made obvious by the fact that Rose doesn't say any semicolons in the actual flash. Here's a thread on the MSPA forums, and that's the dead link that just has informed guesses about what Rose is probably saying.
Mm-hmm.
Hussey just made it up as he went along. It's not a code, but rather a generic, weird Lovecraftian language that you can sort of guess the meaning of from context and approximate word length. So, no, it's not.
But from the word length, you can kind of assume the word, so it's kind of a
Yeah,
cipher, but it's just a jumble with the same
yeah.
lengths of
It's like
words.
kids making up Simlish that sounds close to
Mm-hmm.
English, right?
Speaking some ubby dubby.
Yeah. So it's nothing like concrete. There's no concrete like this is how you translate it. It's like this is what it probably says. But like I
Mm-hmm.
said, the link that went to it is dead because oh god, this is old because that is a MSPA forums and MSPA forums is fucking down. Yeah, this is
Mm-hmm.
from 9 years ago, which is why that link doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there's no real translation, just like vibes.
Yeah. Okay, so John continues being a doof on the way up. I'm trying to find exactly where this was.
Where what was?
When they were going up the stairs. Was that in the game itself?
That was in the game.
Okay, that was in the game.
It's all in the game until they're finished and they see like Jack at the end, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. I just can't find the game. I'm just scrolling through.
The game is on page 3693.
Okay,
I think.
see. 3696 is where the not the
The
game, but
strife
the animation
starts.
part.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
animation. Yeah, I'm on the raft page. Since I can actually look at it without spoilers. So
Yeah. So
which we hadn't said the name in a while, and I keep forgetting to post the link in any of the things, but it's rafe.name is the site that we've been getting all this from, and I'll try to remember to post links. But rafe.name is what we reference all the goddamn time.
So then they take out their weapons, but then John gets stabbed.
Just immediately. Immediately.
I'm just watching to see. Like, I don't remember if something else happened after that or if that was the end of the animation.
Because then Rose gets angry, right? Or is that on a different page?
Yeah, that's on this page. And she growls or something. I don't know. I have it muted.
Yeah. She makes a funny Cthulhu noise.
And then there's green dots everywhere. I don't know. Okay. Then it cuts away to Dave, and Dave jumps on a sword and bounces off. And then someone's gonna explode the Beck Tower, one of the Caraspatians. This jumps around so much. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. What I want to do is once we're done with Act 5, Act 2, I want to have an episode where I find someone who understands this shit better and can explain shit to us.
Like what happens?
What happens? Because I understand some, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand enough to remember and explain it.
Also, just cutting away from things is really hard for me with like ADHD to be able to like understand the story in any sort of coherent way.
Yeah.
Like there's an old sci-fi book I read where every chapter was like a different perspective, and I was just like, I don't. This is so difficult.
So my hope is that watching the end animation is going to bring enough of the threads together that that combined with a quick explanation is going to make more sense. But like part of it was, this was coming out daily.
Yeah.
People still weren't reading 250 pages. And then there was a lot of community around it with people theorizing about what was going on and finding the hints that Hussey dropped along the way. And so I think it's just more digestible that way. But I cannot blame anyone for not understanding shit that's happening as we're jumping place to place to place. I understand it more because I've read it 5 billion times. I don't understand it,
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of, and then there was a door that looked like a Resident Evil 1 door, and then it said end of year 2, remove disc 1.
Yes.
Was this published? This page published on 413?
I don't think so because it ends on October 25th is when the final animation drops. But that's still another chunk of change left. So Homestuck story /
just when it says end of year 2, it just says 4/13/2009 to 4/13/2011.
Yeah, then it must have been on
in the it hasn't been 2 years in the comic, right? It's been like a day.
Yeah, it's been maybe 24 hours, probably not that.
Yeah.
Correct.
I guess we'll find out what years are we talking about here? What's going on?
Yeah. I guess year 2 of the comic being out. Yeah. Because it started in 2009 and this is 2011. I'm on my computer now, so I need to fucking, yeah, it had to be on 413 when that happened. Oh yeah, it says it on fucking Rafe.name, it says the date that it was released. And here's why I got 3710 is because like they just combined it into this one thing. But yeah, so yeah, that's because all these pages were released on April 13th, so it's divided by day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, it was released on April 13th, that page.
Okay. What happens next?
Fucking what doesn't? I love how almost every character has to deal with an alternate version of themselves.
Mm.
Because we start this off, like this section that we read off with Jade Sprite.
Yeah.
And Jade Sprite dealing with an alternate version. Dave deals with alternate versions of himself. And Rose like absorbs an alternate version of herself. Karkat argues with himself. It's so funny because Karkat is the most like, that's just you, bud. That's just you from 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Which is like the most direct, like the least alternate version that I think happens in the comic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like man versus self taken to the literal extreme.
Yeah. So then, okay. How much more there of Act 5-2? Last page is 4,100.
So that's a bit wrong because technically the end of Act 5 is listed as its own separate thing. So the last page is actually 400 or 4,112.
It also says intermission 2 though on that page. What says 4 pages? What?
Yeah. It's literally because like it's literally just the end of Act 5.
And then we'll be into the 6s.
Yes.
Only basically half the webcomic left to go or something.
Yeah. Yes. So how are you feeling? Because I listened back a bit to the first one because I was going to make a clip, and as of recording this, I still haven't made a clip that I usually post everywhere because the site that I used to make it was down. But you were not jazzed about it. You were not jazzed about Act 5, Act 1. It was not a thing you particularly enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, cutting away to like learn a bunch of backstories. Pacing is very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I said before that I was interested in like what this game is and just learning about more so the universe than a specific character.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's moving along with learning about the universe and how the game works and what these demons are. I still feel very lost.
I mean, that's just Homestuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how this story itself unfolds and how the universe unfolds. I guess seeing other characters, but I still get really annoyed at like the long chat logs and being like, what's happening? What are they talking about?
Yeah.
Who is who? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm trying to think. It's like that's just still how it is. That's just still how Homestuck's gonna be. I'm just trying not to jump ahead because like I'm very excited for the end of Act 5, Act 2. And I'm just real interested how you're going to take the beginning of Act 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thumbnail is some like autumn leaves on the Rafe.name website. It's just like a yellow leaf in the sky.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just like, isn't autumn so great? It'll probably be autumn when we get there. So you said you just weren't as interested in the characters, so you don't have any big character opinions. They didn't. Your fave fish boy wasn't murdered. I mean,
no,
he was murdered, but he wasn't your fave fish boy.
Yeah, like in my mind, I know who Tavros is, but now he's dead.
Now he's dead.
I have a hard time keeping Kanaya and Terezi separate in my mind. They just aren't
too green.
Yeah, they're just like not distinct enough to me. I know one is blind and does the CSI stuff. The other one doesn't seem to have like much of a personality. They don't seem to have a lot of personality to me.
Oh.
Equius sweats, Gamzee honks.
Yeah, Aquarius sweats and dies.
Yeah, he's dead. So I don't know. Maybe I don't have to care about the dead ones anymore, or maybe they come back to life. I don't know. Solix doesn't seem like to have a lot of personality to me as well. Yeah. Like the people who stand out tend to be like Tavros, Vriska, Karkat, and Nepeta for me. And I like Karkat because he's mad.
Karkat's so good. Yeah, Nepeta is now dead.
Yeah.
At least you have Karkat.
And the kids I can clearly keep straight because there's
Yeah, there's
four
only
of
4
them.
of them. Well, now there's significantly fewer trolls,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe that'll be easier.
Right. Okay. So Terezi's still alive, Gamzee, Solix, Kanaya, and Karkat,
And Iradia.
and Aradia. Okay. I didn't write that. But we still have Kanaya and Terezi, so I'm still going to keep getting them mixed up in my mind.
That's so funny because like they just don't have overlap to me at all, except they're like next to each other on the hemo spectrum, and both have a relationship. Well, I mean, everyone has a relationship with Vriska in some way or another.
Well, like they both talk to the kids, but I can't tell who it is when any of them are talking to the kids.
Yeah, because you got rid of the typing quirks.
That also that I do get the typing quirks from I think from Vriska still because I had to disable the mod for that one. And then since the fairy and Eridan came in kind of late, I don't really have a read on them either.
And now they're both dead.
Yay! Fewer people to care about.
Yeah.
I liked Tavros, but he's dead. So yeah. I like John. I'm okay with Rose and Jade. I still don't really like Dave.
That's fair. I just feel like Dave is just a harder character to like at this point. You have to be into that specific type of character
Yeah.
that he is. And I
That's
just
who I hung out with when I was 18. I don't
yeah.
want to be around.
Yeah, I'm a huge Dave liker now. But I was not very into him the first time I read it. I don't know, sorry. It's just so funny that you get Resi and Kanaya mixed up. Kanaya is the one that flirts with Rose more than any of the other trolls do.
I know Terezi talks to Dave because she draws the bad pictures, right?
Yeah.
But then I still just they're not distinct in my mind.
Sorry, I'm just a big Kanaya used to be my favorite Homestuck character before a character that we haven't even met yet took her place.
Mm.
I have opinions. And I love talking about them, and they're just not relevant to the here and now. Except for I love Vriska, and Vriska's so good, and no one else understands her like I do. She's terrible.
I will have more opinions when I'm done reading Homestuck, I suppose.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, not that. Sorry, that sounds rude. It's like I hope you'll have more opinions.
No.
Yeah, no. I mean, I like the opinions that you have. I like that you have a different focus than I do because it leads to different things. You know.
I I do like when Vriska and John talk. They seem very sweet.
They're so good. It makes me so mad because in the Hussy commentary, he's like, yeah, Vriska's just manipulating him and he's just a dumb boy, just like Tap. What are you talking about? You usually have such good Vriska opinions unless it's about Tavros, and now you're being weird about, like, Spider Breath is what the ship name's called. Such a good ship.
Yeah. Like I wrote down and highlighted in my notes. I think John said to Vriska, it would be nice to hear from you at least once before you fight him.
Yes.
He's like, oh, that's kind of sweet.
John's such a sweetie pie. I love John. I love Dave, like, having complicated feelings about Bro. And also, like, hey, it's a Dave Vriska ship. If you want that, there's some meta for that. Is they both have complicated relationships to their abusive guardians and how they feel about them. And also, fuck you, Vriska Pester Quest route. Because Vriska has complicated feelings about, like, because she had to kill her guardian.
All of Vriska's feelings are complicated.
All of Vriska's feelings are complicated. Yes, correct. You're right.
She needs to go to therapy.
I mean, who in this comic doesn't?
Who in this world does not?
John had such a, like, John seems like the normal one, but he had such a dead set idea of who his dad was that seeing his dad's normal ass room was like a mental block for him that, like, let him see writing on his wall and all this other shit. Like, absolutely wild.
Well, if nothing else, I feel inspired to create something in some kind of medium. I don't know what.
Yeah. It's so funny because, I've been, I was talking to you before the call, has watching a bunch of like adaptation shit.
Mhm.
And it's like, you can't adapt Homestuck to anything else. Like, it doesn't work in book form.
Mhm.
The book is good to get it offline and to have the commentary, but it doesn't like work. And as like, it's got games and shit.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
plays off the
technically,
medium it's in.
it could be adapted to a piece of software. Like,
Yes. Okay.
more so than it's already been in a piece of
Yeah. I'm
software.
like, it basically is a piece of software now in like the best form.
Yeah.
Go, if you're not already reading it on the unofficial Homestuck collection, it's in the show notes. Go get it on that.
I know it would be a big undertaking. It would be nice to have voices. I know that does not make any sense to do.
I mean, I'm sure that someone could like implement a mod where they get all the Voxus recordings and like put it on the comic somehow. That'd be a lot of work, but
I know you just mentioned Voxes, but are they like actually just like audiobooking it?
yeah, they're just reading
Okay.
it. I haven't watched the YouTube videos. So I just assume they're reading it to the thing. I was audiobooking it for a while. I had Jax Reads Homestuck where I was just reading it out loud. And then I stopped
Yeah.
before I finished Act 4. I might get back into that. My voice has changed since then.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone on tea. I have a
What?
man voice now.
Manly man.
Manly man. I need to get back on tea.
Yeah. I should, just as a stupid side thing, just download one of those like, machine learning things that I can just run on my computer and only train it on Homestuck text and then have it just generate more Homestuck text.
I've been thinking about doing that. Like, they have those character roleplay bots, but they're all
Mm-hmm.
so bad. I decided to play around with the Dirk one, but since it was created by just some rando, it was
Mm-hmm.
just very bad. Dirk
Yeah.
is a character you haven't gotten to yet. He doesn't exist to you yet. I'm sorry. He's my favorite character. but but yeah, just like get all the fucking text and put it into like a fucking learning machine, and there's, I don't know, it'd be so funny.
Yeah. Now, I will say I do not condone Chat GPT.
For sure.
Well, but that you can also just have your own little machine learning model on your computer and train it on something. I did it with fairy tales before, like public domain fairy tales.
Yeah. Like, there's a difference between doing it based on like public domain shit or shit that people like actively say I'm okay with this being trained on shit, and
Yeah.
just like,
Or just personal use to laugh at.
yeah, versus like selling stuff for profit that was taken from other people's labor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that. I get so mad. Tumblr is such a I mean, the internet and people are so black and white about stuff. But like, they see AI and they're like, well, this is terrible and I hate everything. And I'm like, but it's like, the machine learning stuff has its uses. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it can be used for things that aren't unethical.
Yeah. Like generating voices based on other people's voices, if that was given consensually, that would be a good accessibility
I
aid.
mean, we have like Vocaloid is almost that, right? I don't know much about Vocaloid.
Well, there's like rubber Uberduck something. It like has been trained on voices from like various cartoon characters and stuff. And
Yeah.
so if you type some text in, it can kind of generate sometimes good, sometimes bad vocal bits from that audio voice. So for instance, I have an alarm that's just Bender's voice going like, "Take your meds."
Yeah.
And I'm not using it for anything else. It's just on my phone. And I know voice actors really don't like, generated these before I was more cognizant of these things.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, if you're going to make an animation or something, don't freaking use voice actors' voices via these things without their consent and without paying them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I still have an alarm of Bender telling me to take my meds.
That's good. It's so funny because like there's a very popular old school Homestuck voice actor called Octopimp, and I didn't fucking know who this guy was because I was never that involved in the fandom back then. But I was looking up Homestuck ringtones because like it's got a shit ton of music, right? But so I was looking up all these ringtones and it was like Octopimp Aridin, like, and I'm like, what? Who the fuck is this guy? And I did not care for his voices, but that was probably mostly because I wasn't expecting it. And I was mad about it because I just wanted some normal ass like music ringtones and not some dude I've never heard of
Mm-hmm.
saying shit. which isn't anything to do with machine learning because it was all shit like he actually like said. But
Mhm. Yeah. Hussey seems like someone who would maybe use AI in a bad way.
Hussey almost started his own cryptocurrency.
Oh my god.
And in the commentary, they were like, yeah, maybe I should have actually done that and would have had like actual money by now. I'm like, Hussey, now still you think that was a good idea? That wasn't just a dumb thing you thought of back in 2013 or whenever
Mhm.
it ended up coming up, and then you just said now you realize it was dumb. You actually still think that you're a crypto dude? Hussey, you crypto clown. Is my opinion.
Hussey does seem like
A crypto clown?
a crypto juggalo. I don't know.
Yeah, that is what they are. It's a crypto juggalo off doing their fucking. God, I could say so much more about like post Homestuck Hussey because like they have a visual novel out called Psychocolonials.
Yeah,
Psychocolonials.
I have the Steam page up on that right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Geo does a whole breakdown about it, and I've only vaguely read through it because I can't. I fucking can't. But apparently, it's just like really weird, like the way that it seems like it wants you to interpret it because it's about like fan culture and parasocial behaviors and like like shit like that and like Hussey has like Hussey knows that Hussey had a very toxic relationship with fandom both because the
Mhm.
fans were fucking terrible and Hussey was fucking terrible, and apparently it's just like not a great commentary on that.
Mm.
Like it's like, oh, is this what you took away from it? Because that's kind of not great, my guy. But again, I have to read the thing again. Geo saves my life by making me not have to look at things too deeply.
Mhm.
Um, but that's a thing, and some people really like it, and that's allowed.
One of these reviews says a story about clown imperialism. Play it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't agree with people.
It's only $3.
Yeah, I mean, but while we're talking about shit and Hussey and moving on from Homestuck and everything, apparently if there was it was thrown around for a while that if the books were going to continue, that someone not Hussey was going to do the commentary, and I'm so fucking glad
How?
that didn't happen. Just like someone else would just say shit like what. So there's the lead writer for What Pumpkin before it all like went tits up. Aisha Ufera was apparently going to be the one to do the commentary, and it's just like no, 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 it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. I'm glad that there's no commentary if that was the thing.
Yeah.
No offense to Aisha's writing
It just
and
seems weird to have commentary from someone who
didn't write
didn't.
Homestuck.
Yeah. I will say, like, in 20, 30 years, when Hussey is an old person, they'll have their memoirs. We'll all be reading the Homestuck memoirs.
God, I hope so. I really hope so. Unironically, I would love that so much. I have so many complicated feelings. Like everyone who's involved in creating Homestuck is terrible in one way or another. There's like one or two people who haven't like actively done bad things to the fandom as far as I'm personally aware. But like I do want more content about the creation of Homestuck so much. That's just the relationship.
There's a link to Andrew Hussey on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't think that site's been
I don't,
used in ages.
yeah.
Homestuck.net keeps a running update on the last time stuff was updated.
Mm-hmm.
It's Homestuck.net is run by Macon and people from the Homestuck Discord and the Homestuck Reddit, so it's not official at all. It's just they have the most fucking. I fucking Macon is also a piece of shit, but also does good for the fandom, and it's just one of those things that happens. Like sometimes people are a piece of shit and still do good things. That's life. Like Macon is the reason. Macon and Drew, who's also like they're like the head two people of Homestuck Discord and Homestuck Reddit and shit. Like they're the reason that we have the commentary add-on to first it was a web browser extension, and then now it's on the unofficial Homestuck collection. And it's like they're the reason we have so many things and that more things are being archived and shit. and I don't know. Megan's still a piece of shit. Like
I don't
that's
know
just
who
how it
any of
goes.
these people are.
That's fine. It's like it's a Redditor. Like, you know, a classic Redditor, except less misogynistic, but just
Mhm.
an edgy asshole. I'm saying a bunch of shit like I personally talked to Macon or anything. Like, I don't know. It's just every time I'm like, you know what, maybe Macon's actually okay. Like he just does some dumb fucking thing. Sorry, I was looking for the Twitter pages.
So what are we gonna do next?
What do we do every night, Pinky? Try and take over the world. Yeah, so next it's going to be until the end of Act 5, Act 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is... Because we're on page 3714,
Mm-hmm.
and the last page is 4114 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, another 400 pages.
Yeah. Homestuck.net. It's .com. No. Sorry, that was a Homestar Runner reference.
Oh, haven't read whatever Homestuck Runner.
Homestuck Runner.
Homestuck Runner.
That's gonna be my thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you some fan art by next time.
Fantastic. Please do. Oh my god, they have fucking everything on this website. They have a list of interviews that Hussey's done. Homestuck.net.
It's .com. No, I'm sorry, I just can't. There are certain phrases that I have to complete anytime I hear them, such as like, everyone is different. No two people are not on fire. Just from my Homestar Runner days.
That's fair. Oh, latest official updates. There we go. That's what I wanted. Homestuck. The Homestuck Twitter last updated September 18th, 2020. What Pumpkin last updated December 13th, 2022. That's actually pretty recent. It's run by Fellow Traveler, which makes sense. Fellow Traveler is the person who is the company that published the Pester Quest. Didn't know? Or did they do Pester Quest and Hive Swap too? Maybe. Andrew Hussey, last activity was November 6th, 2022. All tweets deleted. This is why, like, I just get so sad because, like, when you delete shit on Twitter, they're just gone unless someone archived them.
Yeah. Like when I didn't delete my Twitter, but I deleted almost all of my tweets, but I archived them for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, Andrew Hussey, Twitter last updated or was last active in 2021, then deleted in 2022. The Hussey Tumblr was last active in 2021, deleted in 2022, or deleted or all the posts. Hive Swap Game is a Twitter account that was last active in 2020. Viz Media, that's Viz Media. The last activity as far as Homestuck was concerned was April 13th, 2020, which is weird because there was like a official Homestuck event that happened this year. Maybe this isn't updated. Homestuck Team was last active in... Jesus Christ, there's so many accounts. Yeah, basically it was all like last updated in 2020 or deleted in 2022.
Yeah. Well, 2022 October is when Elon Musk took over Twitter, so I wonder if it corresponds to that.
That would be funny.
That's why I deleted all my tweets. I'm just like, come to
fair.
me on Mastodon now.
Yeah.
If you know what's good for you, you should not use proprietary social media. If you have a way to get out of Twitter, don't go to Blue Sky. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I can't say shit. I'm the type that, like, every time I watch those, like anytime there's like those spooky sci-fi's, like, and then they got brain implants, I was always like, yeah, I'd do that. I'm dumb. So ever since Elon Musk started talking about brain implants, I was like, okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
But like, so like I made a Instagram Threads account. Like I made a new Instagram for it. So it's not connected to my actual Instagrams. But
that's at least smart to do, because you can't delete your Threads account without like deleting your Instagram.
Yeah. So I'm on there, and then I haven't looked at it in ages. I'm on Mastodon, and I only look at that to sometimes follow people and mostly just to like promote the podcast on there whenever we release a new episode. I'm mostly just on Tumblr, TBH, which now I have. If you want to follow all of my projects and don't want to follow my main account, I have Jack's Yaks that I'm actually using on there now. So I'm thinking about doing a newsletter because the bestie started doing a newsletter, and that seems like a cool way to like, okay, Twitter's dying, and Twitter was like good for things, right? Like that. I was active on Twitter to keep up with like webcomic artists and podcasters and stuff like that. Like that's where I kept up with people, or not people, but like projects, really.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking about switching to a newsletter because that seems like, instead of like, well, you have to have a Mastodon account or you have to have a Tumblr account or whatever, just like give me your email.
We're all going to go back in time and have blogs and newsletters and web rings.
Yes. Actually, I have recently switched my podcast website over to, it was on Podpage, but I'm switching it over to Transistor, which also like creates websites from podcasts, but the free version lets me add pages. I don't know if it's like unlimited amount of pages, but at least one page. And I have a guests page now where I can have links to everyone's shit. So instead of like on Twitter, I have like a list of guests, but that's only the guests who have a Twitter and who have a Twitter that's not like private or whatever, right? So now it's like I can link to their projects and I can like show off like, you see this art, these people made it. Unfortunately, there's some art that I can't find the original copies of, and they're only on the YouTube. And I would have to like download the videos and try to scrape the fucking art from the YouTube video, which sounds like a lot of work if I can't find the originals somewhere. But yeah, so we're going back to like websites, and I'll fucking dust off my WordPress that I was working on. I had some shit on a while ago, and newsletters and shit. I'm just talking a lot.
That's fine. We should probably end the podcast, but
yeah,
I've been reading a book since I've been reading a book from 2008 called "The Future of the Internet and How to Stop It," and it's related to what we're talking about right now. But
oh, that's great. I love shit like that. By that, I mean I love it conceptually, and then I just forget to read it. Anyway, this is the end of the episode. Whatever happens after here is not going to be on the episode. Whatever happened before this probably also wasn't on the episode. Please go to livelaughstuck.com. It's got links. If you are too lazy to do that, find me on Twitter, livelaughstuck, unless that's not there anymore. In which case, Tumblr, livelaughstuck, or Instagram, livelaughstuck. I'm just like a lot of places. And I might have a newsletter by now. Who knows? Also, give me money. Ko-fi.com/JaxyX. Please give me money.
Give Jackie money.
This also, podcast hosting costs money. Sorry.
I have a 1990s style website at rachel.likespizza.com. That's spelled RACHEL because it's the correct way to spell Rachel. Yeah.
Sorry, that's quiet because I'm going to your website. Oh my god, it is a classic 90s website. See, this is the website that I was like ready to make for my end project for my full stack web dev, but like obviously no one wanted to show this to potential employers. So I had to actually like do better shit.
Well, they're in style again now.
Please go to rachel.likespizza.com, especially if you were born before the 2000s. Yeah. It's a blast to the past, and I feel great about it.
Yeah. I love my webpage.
It's so good. But yeah. Thank you so much for being on, Moosey. I can't wait until the next one, and then after we're done with the next episode, I can show you so many more things. So many things just reference the end animation for Act 5, Act 2. And then we'll just be on to a whole new adventure after that.
Wow.
Act 6 is a whole different beast. Okay. And also the exact same.
Oh, okay.
It's new, but it's not. But yeah, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks, probably with another Doom Timelines episode, or who knows what. If you guys have projects, let me know, and we'll talk about it.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you to Dami for composing the theme song and editing the episode. You can find more of her work at soundcloud.com/DominoThief. Shout out to our fakest fan tier supporters, Danny the Spoon Lord and Tezrak. You can become a supporter and receive early episodes and bonus content for as little as $1 a month over at ko-fi.com/jaxyaks, or simply give a one-time tip. For information on and links to my other projects, head over to jaxyaks.com. Thanks again for listening.